Welcome to In the Know with the Stafford SO, a podcast presented by the Stafford County Sheriff's Office in Virginia that brings you the stories of the men and women who work tirelessly to keep our community safe each day. With In the Know with the Stafford SO, you'll find out what life is really like behind the law enforcement badge. Thank you for listening and thank you for your support.
Hello and welcome to In the Know with the Stafford SO. I am Kathy Volbrecht, your host for today. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I am excited to welcome our new PIO, Sarah Maroney, to the podcast. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you on here. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about, because you and I have talked previously, you were a police officer before you became a PIO, and I was kind of curious to hear what made you make that switch.
Right, so I began my career in law enforcement in 2012 in South Carolina as a police officer, and then I was there for about 4 years, and then decided to move up to Virginia to be closer to family, and figured it would be an excellent opportunity to kind of explore the other side of law enforcement, the civilian side, and eventually landed as a public information officer with Manassas City Police Department, and I was there for 3 years before coming here to the Stafford County Sheriff's Office in September of last year.
Okay. And you said you came up here for family. You have family in the area?
Right. Family is really important to me. And, after living away from family for so long, figured it's time to kind of settle somewhere where I can be closer to them.
And I'm sure they were excited to have you back.
Yeah, it's been a really nice change. I'm really happy I made the move.
Good. Now, had you always wanted to be a police officer?
No, not really. I kind of fell into it. I got my master's degree in criminal justice. And when I graduated, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was living in South Carolina, and I found Clemson University was hiring police officers. And I just jumped right in. And I'm really happy I had the experience. It really helps me in the job I have now because I know so much about law enforcement and what the deputies do every day. So that kind of helps me make my job easier now.
Absolutely. And I know the background that you have in law enforcement is such a big help to your position now as a PIO. And now I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Can you tell our viewers what really is involved with the job of a PIO for the Sheriff's Office?
Really, our number one goal as a PIO is to put out information to the public, help them stay informed about what's going on in our community, what we're doing as an agency to serve our community. So there's a lot of the factors that go into being a public information officer. It's one, getting information out to the community directly through our social media platforms, but also working with members of the media, answering questions they have, clarifying any information they need. And we also work 24/7. We're on call 24/7 because crime can happen anywhere, anytime. And with the news cycle being 24/7 as well, we have to be prepared to respond to any type of questions or inquiries, for after hours incidents.
You also play a very important role in keeping our citizens engaged in what the Sheriff's Office does. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we're really lucky we have such a following on our social media platforms. So that's really a big way we work engage with the community because it's a direct line of communication to our residents. Is they can comment on our posts, they can message us, they can see directly what we're putting out there. I can get out information about wanted people we're looking for who are missing, put out information asking for assistance or information on an investigation we're having. And so we interact with the community, not just by posting pictures of, great things our deputies are doing, but it's kind of a back and forth communication is, they can provide information to us and we provide it to them. So we engage with the community really heavily on social media. It's been a great tool for us. Our community engagement team is still, as safely as possible doing, some community engagement out in the community. And so getting that information, showing those pictures to our community to say, hey, we're still out here. We're still engaging with the community as safely as possible. And, showing the great stuff our staff does. We have amazing staff here at the Sheriff's Office. And showing that information to the public, we're still out there, we're handling calls for service, we're still completing investigations and making arrests, make the community safer and better. So using that platform has been a great way in the age of COVID when we're not out doing events as much and doing large scale projects out in the community, we can still, interact with them that way.
Can you give us an idea of what a typical day for you might be? Like you said, crime does not stop. it doesn't happen just between 8 and 4:30 or 9 to 5. So what is your typical day like when you come to the sheriff's office?
So in the morning, I typically like to review kind of news in the area, nationally, regionally, because that really can affect, what we do or what questions reporters might have. If there's something trending nationally, they may inquire about, if we're having something similar here in the sheriff's office. And then I read all the reports that the deputies take from the day before or the weekend before. And from that, I compile our daily incident report, which is essentially just a rundown of crimes that have occurred in the community so people can stay informed of what's happening in their area. And then for bigger cases or more large scale investigations, that there's a lot more information that we want out, we will draft a press release. So I draft our press releases, and our daily incident report and our press releases get disseminated to media. We put it on our website and our social media platforms. So it's really at the ready for anybody who wants information. And I'm always updating social media with great information for the public, whether it be crime prevention related, highlights of stuff our staff has done, any like major arrests we've made. That all goes out on social media, and which is a full-time job in itself. The website has a ton of great resources, not only just all our news items, but our crime prevention unit has fantastic resources on there. And they also put out a weekly crime report. So I encourage members of the public, if they haven't already done so, familiarize yourself with the website, because there's some great information there.
We've talked a lot about the ways that you're using social media in this time of COVID. Are you going to start branching out there? Now that the vaccine is coming, and many people are beginning to get it, and when we feel that it's safe, do you see yourself being able to get back out there, working one-on-one with the media, and going out into the community a bit more?
Yeah, it's something I'm definitely looking forward to. Is when we're safely able to have more events, community events. That's something I'd definitely be at, which is fun for me to be out there interacting with the community. Coordinating media if they want to come out and take pictures or interview staff about the event. That's something that's typically a big part of the job, but in the age of COVID, we haven't been able to safely do those kind of things. And normally outside of a pandemic, the media is out and about more, doing more in-person interviews. And nowadays, a lot of times they do Zoom or a phone interview to help promote social distancing. So, as restrictions ease, will be things that we'll see come back, and look forward to kind of being able to interact with people more face to face.
Another thing we haven't been able to do much of is attend training, attend conferences that sort of help us in our field. And I was going to ask you, how are you able to keep up with the latest communication trends that are out there?
Yeah, so I follow some professional organizations, and they put out articles and information about, what we're kind of seeing in the communications field, what are some new initiatives, that kind of thing. And another great tool is we follow a lot of local law enforcement agencies and national agencies throughout the nation to kind of see what they're doing, what new ideas they have. And, you never know what something might be a great fit for Stafford, a new way to engage with the community or get information out.
Now, are there some projects that you're looking forward to accomplishing this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be updating a lot of our photography we use for recruiting and our website and stuff like that. So I'm going to be out taking pictures of our deputies and our different units. So that's going to be a big project for this year, and just really hoping to be back out in the community soon. And lastly, we're definitely hiring right now. So what we're doing is we're going to be pushing out a lot of information about recruitment and open positions, and that's going to be all out on social media. So we're working on that too.
Wonderful. Sarah, is there anything else that you would like to mention?
Just like you said, if you haven't followed us on social media already, please do. And definitely check out our website where we have all those great resources.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. Best wishes for a very long and successful career here in Stafford County. We're really looking forward to 2021. And again, like you said, hopefully getting back out there to our community.
Right. Thank you for having me.
That wraps up this episode of In the Know with the Stafford SO. Thank you for tuning in, and have a safe and wonderful day.
Thank you for listening to In the Know with the Stafford SO. This podcast is produced by members of the Sheriff's Office and is one more way we connect with our community. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Visit our website at staffordsheriff.com for details about our social media channels as well as events where you can meet our staff. Thank you for your support.